Good day, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see, let's check the chat real quick. Which do I prefer, steampunk or cyberpunk? Now, that's a hard thing to choose because both have their strengths and weaknesses, but I think for me it's going to have to be cyberpunk, just because cyberpunk is it's more science fiction based, and I prefer sci-fi to fantasy. And, you know, we kind of do live in a cyberpunk kind of world. You know, everything's always online. We're starting to get powered exoskeletons and robot arms and such. My favorite of the punks, though, is still going to be diesel punk, just because it kind of splits the difference between steam and cyber. It's lesser known, but diesel punk allows you to have stuff like tank mechs, which I really like. All right, so today we're going to be taking a look at a Doom mod called Red's Overworld. One of y'all mentioned it in a stream a couple weeks back, and I gave it a download, and it's pretty good. It's not perfect. A lot of the levels are a little too long and a little too confusing, and it can get kind of dull. And also the story is completely insane. I mean, it's not that insane. It's like what if the Cold War went hot in 1990, Comrades of the great Soviet Union, the time to manifest our destiny has finally arrived. We have let the buffoonery of the imperialist pigs go on far too long. It is time to crush our enemies. Sounds like something from a college campus. We, the workers of the world, shall face our adversaries together like brothers. The Red Army shall storm the shores of America. But just before the attack, we shall weaken the U.S. Army with diversion operations, and this, comrade, is where you come in. It sounds like a speech, and then it turns into that. Writing's a little weird. Your goal will be the small U.S. military base in California on the west coast of the USA. Neutralize its communications to get back to us. They won't expect an attack. I got a lot of problems with that. I'm not sure that would work quite the way they're thinking. This is the dawn of a new era. We shall put an end to the Western enslavement of the world. Good luck. I can't even begin to pronounce that. So, yeah, you're one Spetsnaz operator and you're gonna, like, take out an entire military base. The realization of our glorious plan is upon us, comrade. As we speak, tens of other operatives are... And I couldn't read that fast enough. Okay, so... This is kind of like, also, free Whopper. So yeah, this is kind of inspired by, I think, Modern Warfare and a few other games like that, where there was a invasion of the U.S. by the Russians somehow. I don't know where they got all those boats. I don't know where they got the steel to make all those boats, but they did. Russia itself, like, right now, has, like, an aircraft carrier that, like, the Ukrainians made. The Admiral Kuznetsov. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Heroes of the Half Shell. So yeah, the game takes place in 1990, and there's like this worldwide Russian invasion. Oh yeah, this is somewhat similar to Blade of Agony in terms of like size and complexity, but it runs so much better. Blade of Agony gave me like frame rate, gave me like slideshow frame rates. So right now we're playing as the glorious People's Soviet Union. And we're trying to take down the evil America. So, where this mod kind of falls flat, just a little, is where the levels just go on too long. Like, you complete, like, an objective that takes, like, forever. And then the level keeps going, and it gets a little confusing, and, yeah. And also, it's really long. It's got, like, 30 levels, which is cool, but it just takes a bit of time. Also, I don't think in 1990 they had PC towers that small. That's more of a late 90s sort of thing. Protester out of base for a diversion. I can see that. Yeah, this is apparently if the Soviets had competency, but still though, they wouldn't have had enough boats. Their one aircraft carrier wasn't even built in 1990. And like, they never actually finished, other than that one, the Kuznetsov, which was pretty shitty, and I think I don't think it sank, but I think it's like not gonna ever, you know, like sail again. And, like, it runs off of, like, really nasty fuel oil. Whereas America, we've got, like, a shitload of, you know, nuke aircraft carriers. Although, you could see the Soviets maybe using their, you know, submarines. Maybe they sank part of the U.S. Navy. It's one of those things where, like, Modern Warfare 3 was worse about that. It's like, they shut down all the satellites so no one could see the Soviet or the Russian invasion. It's like, I'm not so sure about that. And even if you did attack the U.S., where are you gonna get all the troops? Yep, I knew that was gonna happen. Thankfully, this has intro-level checkpoints. It's a very impressive mod, even for my minor complaints. Definitely not getting that. I mean, I guess Anthony Jordan, that's not a bad bit of closure, but man, just be careful. Just be careful. People be crazy out there. And the guns in this are a little silly, and half the time we don't even have enough ammo, but I think that's supposed to be a Makarov? Maybe? But you'd think this guy would have a rifle, you know, like, I don't know if the Venturez existed in 1990, but you'd think he'd have a rifle, but whatever. We're just using the M16A2, which I think is supposed to be the best of the iron-sighted variants. At least with the Natsoks, they had a somewhat competent military, but yeah, you know, the Soviets being able, and besides, the Natsoks, when you're fighting them, are usually on a continent that they were already on. the Soviets, you know, being able to invade America. It's like, where did they get the boats? I actually was debating that with somebody once, where they were saying like, well, they've got more shipping than all of America. I'm like, no, they don't. And even if they did, they don't have enough actual attack craft to get over there. But whatever. You try convincing people of things these days. What's kind of interesting, with Addy not letting the generals run the war, what's kind of interesting about that is, evidently from modern historical study, he was actually slightly more intelligent than some of the generals, which is kind of weird. It's one of those things where after the war, a lot of those generals... I forgot to pick up the bomb. A lot of those generals kind of rewrote it to where, oh yeah, it was Madman Hitler. He was the crazy guy. We totally didn't fuck up. I'd recommend watching Tick History. Recently, he's gotten into more esoteric things that's pissed off a lot of people, but his historical stuff is pretty good. Oh crap, no! You can lose it fast, so we're gonna give us a little bit of health. Give heal. Wow, I can spell. You can't spell health without heal. Or something like that. But yeah, in Red Dawn from the 80s, the Soviets were able to invade the U.S. Through Mexico and the rest of South America, using some of those guys as troops. I'm not sure that would work either, but whatever. So, I can only assume that this game takes place in like an alternate timeline where the Soviets are actually more, well, useful. Which means they wouldn't be communist, but whatever. Yeah, Turning Point Fall of Liberty is like if you made Wolfenstein New Order, but with like a tenth of the budget. And yeah, it had the awesome Zeppelins. That makes even less sense. Like, even if, you know, FDR died, I don't think the Germans would still have enough ships to get over there, even in the 50s. But whatever. You want to fight, you know, Nat Socks or not? You know, it's just one of the things you gotta let it go. Yeah, this is full auto. Yeah, maybe if they did use their psychic abilities, I don't know. That's probably the only thing that would make any sense. Also, you gotta love how there's just random miniguns all throughout this base. It seems really dangerous. I mean, you get somebody who gets drunk. Also, we've got some sound effects from Half-Life Opposing Force, a game that I thought was 100% okay when played co-op. But, you know, the invasion genre has been around since the 1800s. There was one invasion book I read by Christopher Nuttall a long time ago. I forget what it's called now. Where somehow the Russians were able to invade literally all of Europe after destroying the U.S. fleet. With Operation Stalin. Even the writer admitted that that was very unlikely that such a thing could happen. But, you know, it's one of those things. Do you want the Russians to invade or not? Phone to the PS4. Which game is that, Agnostic? Is that this one or a different one? Because... oh, crap! I blame the chat! This game likes to do that, where you turn a corner and there's like half an army of enemies trying to blast you. It gets worse. Now, since this game is pretty long, we're going to do 3 levels of each campaign. So we've got the Russian campaign, we got the American one, and then we've got the European one, where you play as a member of NATO, or the EU. Oh, this one. This one's pretty good. Red's Overworld, I'm enjoying it pretty well, but the levels are a little too long and they can get a little confusing. But it's definitely something I am going to finish, but in like short bursts. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you were born after 1990, you probably won't exist. 'Cause of chaos theory, man! It's the chaos theory. Actually, I think chaos theory would like say that like all the atoms would be in different places or something. I watched a video on that a long time ago. It was weird. Okay, so we got the yellow card. But did we need to stay down here to open up the... oh yeah, the yellow door's down here. Okay. Because we need to open up that to shoot up the radio communications and all the rest. But I think with the Ukrainian war, I think people are starting to realize that, like, invasions are hard. I mean, like, the U.S. was probably one of the only countries that could have done a D-Day sort of thing. Just because of all the operational cooperation. It's kind of weird to think, though, that, like, in World War II, like, a lot of the air forces controlled all the planes, right? So, like, the Navy didn't have control of its planes, which meant the Navy had, like, shit planes. Like, you would think, like, the different branches of the military would, like, work together so they could, you know, win the war. I used to watch that Icarus Lives guy. I haven't really seen much from him recently, though. We gotta pick up all the valuable documents. We gotta find the porn stash. We can never have too many documents. They might come in handy. I'm sure that's logical somehow. So we need to find the red key. And it took me forever to find this bloody thing. I don't know why they did this. But the red key is behind this box. Now you can see it if you're walking around, but if you're just kind of like flying around, you wouldn't know it was there. Also, why is that there? Somebody got drunk. Alien and Larry Correa books. Did find one. Some fantasy thing. Oh yeah, Larry Correa did a fantasy book series called Son of the Black Sword. It's not bad, but Son of the Black Sword I think was really bad for Larry just because we got rats. They got the Black Plague. We gotta shoot them. Larry Correa got really arrogant after he wrote that book series just because I follow him on the Twatters to see like if he's gonna announce any more books that I'd actually want to read, because his Son of the Black Sword— oh crap. You don't necessarily have to cheat in health, but if you're like paying attention to a bunch of different things, that does make the game a little harder. Why is there a minigun guarding this supply closet? You know, dude, instead of like, you know, manning that minigun, you could have cleaned up this water. I mean, come on, seriously. Oh wait, pigs? But yeah, where was I? Larry Correa got very arrogant after he wrote that Son of the Black Sword series, and it's not even that good. I mean, it's all right, but it goes on for way too long for what it is. It's a 5-book series, and he must have been paid by the letter, because good God, I didn't even finish the last 2. It's basically set in a India-inspired fantasy world. The main character is someone who must be on the spectrum, named Ashok Vidal, who has like this magic sword that only he can wield. And then there's like the big conspiracy where like the leadership wants to do the Gen Zero aside, and he's got to stop them. And it's not really, it's pretty dull. That's the worst thing about it, is it's dull. It's got too many characters, too many plates being spun, and just, but you know what? It made him a lot of money. He got to build a new floor on his house, and yeah, you know, there might be a chopper on the helipad. Might be. Well, how do you, is there or not? And it's going to be a V-22 Osprey. It's like, I'd rather try to go by boat, because those things are very dangerous. And hello, Riley. For alternate history, it makes no sense. Fictional country by messing with the People's Confederacy in China. I mean, that could happen. I mean, confederacies in general are, that's probably where a lot of human governments is heading, just because local governance is a lot better than something top-down, because top-down doesn't really know what the local conditions are. Oh my God, it's a V-22 Osprey in 1990. But yeah, Son of the Black Sword, you know, it's your typical, you know, epic fantasy thing that gets really dull. But the revolution starts here. In 1990, I don't think they'd get too much help from, like, the colleges. Alright, so now we've got to go and blow up a ICBM base. And it's bugged at the end of it. Our invasion of the world is a success. The Red Army is storming America and Europe. We're an unstoppable tide of justice brought upon the free world's enemies. Now, the Soviets would not call the West the free world, because they would have considered themselves free. Freer, in fact, than somebody in the West. Which isn't true, but whatever. Our armed forces attacked both coasts of America and keeps pushing forward. We're also slowly marching into Europe. How? Our conquest cannot be halted except by one thing. Nuclear missiles. Premier feels that Americans are going to strike our motherland using them. Why would they not already? This is where Spetsnaz operatives like you Once more come into... God damn it. Couldn't read it fast enough. Each Spetsnaz operative will be tasked with disabling one nuclear silo. You'd send like a lot of teams to do that. I don't think you could take out all of Fort Sherman, but whatever. Whatever. Yeah, you can need a lot of good luck and quick saves. And hello, Master Rebel. Alternate history where Britain put down the American Revolution, but had to move the capital of the empire to North America. I think that actually is a book. So making my Space Pirates versus Chaos Demon story. Making a Mecha Warfare. Mecha Warfare is not bad. I mean, there's not as many of those books as you would think. And a lot of them aren't that great. I really love just how well this runs. Because, like, we're getting pretty good frames here in wide open areas. And this definitely reminds me a little bit of Modern Warfare 2. Oh, come on, get him already! We'll shoot him with the poison bullet. You'll never guess what the next level, though, is. It's like, right now we're, like, fighting through America. But, the next level, we literally go to Afghanistan. As if the Soviets was gonna win a second time. It's one of those things, like, when you think, oh, crap. Give health. Give all health. I think the Soviets couldn't even conquer Afghanistan. What chance would they have of taking over the U.S.? I'm just saying. Is that, what if you mix the policies and governments of the Confederacy from the U.S. Civil War with Maoist China? Oh. Actually, here's kind of the crazy thing about communism. It still has slavery, but you just change the name from slavery to forced labor. It basically is the same thing. I mean, if we wanted to be honest, we could say that Stalin was the largest slave owner in history, because, yeah. I think this right here is a reference to Red Dawn, where one of the Soviet invaders of America, who invaded, they invaded, like, Montana for some reason, shoots a citizen with a 1911. 3 world wars! Let's hope 3 world wars just in fiction. I'd rather not be a real one. And we got the Wolfenstein dogs, which look alright. Got some low-res dogs. I like how the dogs are like random enemies in these levels. And the dogs do change. In the US, it's German Shepherds and like... Why is there a... That is not a very good field of fire there, dude. I'm not sure why you'd put that there. Slice alone, yep. Instead of becoming a super soldier, Rocky became a boxer. Or no, Rambo became a boxer and changed his name to Rocky. Communism is great. And yeah, communism is everything they despise. But see, the thing is, though, they want to be in charge. So, yeah. Red Dawn takes place in... Oh, it's in Colorado, not Montana. Okay. It's been a while since I've watched Red Dawn. I used to not like it because I didn't like to see America get invaded. Because we live here! But yeah, you can have multiple projects at the same time. And man, what did that guy have? A bloody tank of air? But yeah, you can have multiple projects. It's always good to keep busy, you know? I don't know how people ever get bored. I mean, seriously, like, how do you even have time to get bored? Each week feels like I don't have enough time to do anything. It's like, before I know it, it's already the weekend. But don't burn yourself out. Always have time to rest and recharge, you know? It's always good to have, like, a hobby that's just, you know, for fun. Like, roller skating, bowling, shit like that. Roller skating is my favorite non-computer related hobby. Because, like, you know, bowling, you know, you go bowl a couple games, then you leave. But roller skating, like, you can be there for, you know, like, hours if you want. And it's really, really fun. Eventually, I gotta learn how to skate backwards. I don't know how these guys do that. Or, like, the ones that are, like, dancing around. It's like, holy crap. Their balance must be, like, perfect. Let's see. First Slave and Gulag. I mean, there's a lot of countries that don't make sense. Like this one. So trying to find one that really doesn't make sense is gonna be, you can have your work cut out for you. Because, yeah, humans can be very strange. Oh, there isn't a Calumet, Colorado? Oops, I did not know that. Effectively retired, I believe. Oh. Well, Anthony Jordan, my recommendation is, you know, find a hobby that you can do from home, you know, like maybe making YouTube videos on something you like. I think you already do YouTube videos, if I'm not mistaken. Stuff like that. Do some writing. Because there's not nearly enough good writers out there. And yeah, this mod definitely is a college student's dream. Not that they would like that, though. That's one thing, like, would alternate history General Lotz be any different, though? Because I would have been exactly 1.5 years old when this invasion took place. I'm sure I would survive the war because my family is filled with survivors. Like, they survived a lot, so I'm sure infant General Lotz would make it. But man, growing up in like the blasted ruins of Houston would not be fun. Or maybe Houston wouldn't get taken out. I mean, there's not much here to take out. But, you know, it's just, that would be interesting to see. What would alternate history General Lotz be like? Would I hate the AK-47? Probably. Would it matter? Because the AR is better than the AK. At least it's more efficient. Easier to mount an optic. Way easier to mount an optic. Oh yeah, that Wendigo thing. -5. Well, MA77, you're probably not gonna exist in this universe. I've been Dawn since I was 16 recently. Yeah, Red Dawn is a fun movie, but it's still disturbing to me, though. Choose one and just use my time. Let's see. What year? This game takes place in 1990. But the Cold War goes hot. That's the thing about Houston. Nobody really cares about it. I do know that at Independence Day, the first one, the only one worth watching, Houston gets nuked. To try to take down one of the city destroyers. It doesn't work. It's like, how could you blow up Houston? Poor Independence Day. There were actually some book sequels that were a lot better than the than that movie. That, while not terrible, that Independence Day Resurgence was not the worst movie I've ever seen. But it was very unnecessary. Of all the remake-wools, it was probably one of the least worst. Okay, now what the hell? We're trying to get over, trying to find a way to get over that fence. Okay, here we go. This definitely is a lot of video game logic. We can't step over it, so we have to go through a vent. The ICBMs are half an hour away. I don't think that's they'd be a lot faster than that. But yeah, for me, I have too much shit to do at any time because I got like work, I've got life crap, and then a bunch of little hobbies, like working on cosplay, which is always fun. I do a lot of creative crap, just because I have a lot of different interests that I like to just do all the time. Own Gundam fan story. And I just keep practicing and eventually be able to write it. Like, for me, I've not written anything substantial yet just because I'm still practicing characters, trying to make them sound differently or sound different from one another. And that's not easy. A lot of paid writers can't do it, like Stephen King. But anyway, Stevie aside, would be one in Virginia. You might survive, although I'm sure that Virginia would be attacked by the Soviets. But like, with a father in the military, you'd probably get more rations than somebody who doesn't have one. Cooking just made some breaded pepper jack chicken. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. Earth and Mars after a space. Both sides in effect. Yeah, New York would be screwed. I can't imagine trying to live in New York City. A giant, bloody urban agglomeration. Ugh, people say the suburbs are bad. It's like, I love the suburbs. I don't know why people have to hate on them. I guess the cookie cutter ones are worse than like an older one, which is where I live. Because I like not having a giant city just outside my door or living in an apartment. Living in an apartment kind of sucks. When I was growing up, me and my mother lived in an apartment, and, well, not terrible. It's like if people play music all night long, or, you know, you got people that are yelling and screaming and all that, it's just, ugh. The burbs are where it's at. I remember I had somebody tell me once, they're like, suburbs are where people go to die, man. I'm like, are you high? Are you high? And I think my argument, of course, was like, well, you know, my grandfather has lived in like the suburbs for like 50 years, and at the time he was still alive. So it's like, if you go to the suburbs to die, he's not doing a very good job at it. So yeah, doing a review channel. Still enjoy playing a game or watching a movie or something. That could work. I don't know. It's like maybe Houston is different from other suburbs. This is the only place I've lived except for Utah for like a few months. And so like Houston, it's like outside from where I live, I can go bowling, I can go skating, there's multiple Comic Cons like each year. So I don't know. I guess other places aren't like that. There's like a whole bunch of parks, like 3 or 4 gun ranges. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it's supposed to be boring. I don't know. Maybe like, maybe other suburbs don't have that? I've had my 2 ways about it. Live in the country. I'd like to live in the country myself, actually. You know, be away from everyone. But then again, yeah, there's not that much stuff to do in the country outside of like be in nature, which is fun in and of itself. But then like being able to go to the store, you're pretty much going to be limited to like Dollar General. Whenever I go to like another city or a town in Texas, like all those little towns you pass through, pretty much what you're going to find is Dollar Generals everywhere. Dollar Generals, thousands of them. Video essays. Yeah, video essays aren't bad either. Although some of them can get really, really pretentious. There's one that I was kind of like morbidly curious to watch, but didn't. But the thumbnail was Whiteness, Judaism, and Wolfenstein. I don't know what that's going to be about. I don't know how pretentious that's going to be. Technically not a war crime. They shoot back at you. It's technically not. They were fighting. They're legal combatants, I swear. Do you think the process of putting together reviews and other videos fun? Yeah, it is. Making videos is a lot of fun. You kind of have to do it for fun purposes, because like getting super popular and making money is not easy. You got to be like the lowest common denominator almost these days to get people to actually click in huge enough numbers. So whenever I do like a video, you know, I'm not putting like all this annoying text or like doing a video with a stupid premise or something. 6 10 to 20 minute drive from the suburbs. Man, that's a long time. Boonies, shoot guns, ride 3 or 4 wheelers. Ugh. 3 or 4 wheelers. I've never actually used a 4-wheeler or quad bike before, but I remember back when I was a kid, one of my mother's friends had a tiny piece of land and a 3-wheeler, which I think those things are illegal, unfortunately, or at least they are now. They weren't then. And man, that was some of the funnest shit ever. And even around here, back when I was a kid, had a mini bike. A doodle bug is what it was called. Got it from Northern Tool and Die for like $200. And I rode that all the time. Because that kind of shit is fun. Sadly, can't really do that much anymore, just because, you know, they literally paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Well, there are places like that, Cyrus Von Knox. They're a little harder to find these days, but they still exist. Whiteness and Judaism video. It sounded really pretentious. Like, I'm not gonna watch that. Oh, come on. Don't make me no-clip you. I'll no-clip. Okay, there we go. I'm literally gonna save after every jump. You thought I was joking. This isn't the worst platforming I've seen in a Doom mod. But it's not the best either. I will say that this mod is, in many ways, a bit better than a lot of these paid GZ Doom mods, like Celico. I kind of got taken away by the hype for Celico, but that game really isn't that great. Whereas this is free, and I think it's more impressive and less annoying. There we go. Almost got it. We almost got it. Really? I swear, I was hitting the Y button. 1988. Man, that's longer than I thought it would be. Changes in content talking about someone who's on this... Oh yeah, neurodivergent. Yeah, people like to use that term a lot. Or people who use, like, mutism as, like, an excuse for being an asshole. Wrecker. I'll have to check that out. I still need to check out Turok Doom, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. But yeah, the whole neurodivergent thing, I swear, that is just an excuse for assholes to be assholish while also somehow being the victim. Speaking of, the latest social media craze now is there was some runner that bashed somebody in the head with a baton, and it's clear view of the public. Like, there's no getting around to, like, allegedly. Like, you see this person come up behind somebody, just smack them right in the head with a baton. And of course, they're the victim. The smasher is the victim instead of the smashee. And there's this big social media controversy now. It's like, my mental pain is greater than that person's physical pain. This person literally said that. It's like, holy crap. And yeah, the Wrecker can be good but hard at times. There's another game I need to do a stream of that's this Russian thing that's like using like the Source engine or something. It's not Ultra Kill, it's something like that though. Actually looks halfway decent for like an indie game. A lot of those indie games can get really boring as time goes on. Yeah, Vladik Brutal. I need to stream that because it looks good, but there's just so many games, so little time. Yeah, trying to find where to go here can get a little hard because a lot of these corridors look exactly the same, and you got to go through these vents, and it can also get a little confusing. Okay, I think we came through here already. There we go. It's a Class 5 laser. Can you imagine how much electricity that takes in 1990? In the first Terminator, Arnie has to have the battery pack for the laser on that 45 in his pocket, and it can only run for like 2 minutes. It takes 2 gigawatts of electricity to run for 4 seconds. Oh, it's terrible? Oh well. That will practically outlaw self-defense. Oh yeah, I saw that. Crap your Half-Life 2 clone without the charm or polish. Alright, well, I guess I'll skip that one then. Oh well. Yeah, California wants to make it where you have to have a duty to retreat. I'm surprised they don't already have that, because I would have figured they would have. It's California, after all. I don't think anyone's going to actually follow that, because when you're in imminent threat of, you know, death, people are going to fight, but that's California for you. That's what they do. Hey, there was a Russian Arnold. Red Heat. Cocainum. That's actually not a bad movie, but it's much more dramatic than a name like Red Heat would lead you to believe. Like that movie does get kind of tear-jerking in places. Arnie does a pretty good job being like a Russian Terminator almost, and I think it's got like Jim Belushi in it. I think it's like Arnie's partner. It's definitely worth a watch. I think like Arnold's handgun in that is supposed to look like a Russian Desert Eagle, which I don't think they ever had. That's the thing about California. It is a very, very weird state. Non-copyright clones. I can't think of any off the top of my head at the moment, because like well, there's Dusk. Dusk kind of does its own thing. I'm actually going to put out a video on a boomer shooter called Medieval, where I mentioned its biggest problem is a lack of originality and personality. I need to stream my Medieval at some point too, because that's a game that needs to be talked about, but it's a game that you'll beat once, because it doesn't really inspire repeat playthroughs. God damn it. This is one of the confusing parts of this level. I'm trying to figure out how to get back to go. I think we go back up here. Because you got to go through a vent, And then you gotta go around there. You gotta give it the old vent around. Oh yeah, Raw Deal has that scene where Arnie's getting all his guns ready. Karate. I know what that is, but I don't think I've played it. I don't think I have. Not fun enough to do repeat playthroughs, and ain't that the truth? I hope that Doom the Dark Ages is actually worth playing. I'm gonna upgrade my processor to play it. It better be worth the effort. If not, I'll just go back to stuff from the early 2000s. Modern games are too big. It's like 200 gigabytes for that? It's like Starfield was really bad about that. Like, that was over 100 gig for a game that looks like Fallout 4. It's like, it was not graphically impressive. Even if it was, you know, a fun space game. Okay, I must have come through here already. This is a game that is in dreadful need of a compass, because a lot of this looks very much the same. Alright, now we're finally getting to where we need to blow up these bombs. Now, for me it's bugged, or I'm just not fast enough. Because what's going to happen is we're going to blow up these missiles, right? And they can explode, and there's no way to get out of that room fast enough. Yeah, Terminator Resistance is definitely worth playing. More times than one. Aquanox, never heard of that. Barf with, yeah. A lot of those games really do look pretty shitty, even with modern graphics. Everything looks kind of plasticky. You just need to go back to early 2000s graphics. Everybody's computer can run those, and they won't look that bad. That was one of my problems with that Indiana Jones game. It just, when you look at it for more than 2 seconds, it's not a war crime, but they're shooting at me. It just doesn't look that great. Okay, we need to save right here, because this is where it's bugged. So what we're going to do is we're going to blow up these missiles, right? And somehow we have to get out of here in time to not get hit by the explosion. And I couldn't do it. And somehow I did it. I'm not really sure how I was able to do it, but I swear it would blow up before I could get through that bloody vent. Doom 3/Fear 1 graphics? Yes. All the yes for that. Terminator first movie, then put. Yep. Terminator 3 is not that great. I liked Salvation when I first watched it. And Terminator Genesis is a very good TV movie. Greetings, comrades. Comrade Yuri, we knew you'll destroy these missiles sooner or later without their ICP. Damn it, couldn't read it fast. Yep, that's a Pancor jackhammer. Okay, so now we're going from America to Afghanistan. Comrade, your recent destruction of Uncle Sam's biggest missile facility has proven to be the turning point of our invasion. Our forces bravely march deeper inside the so-called free world. This gives us some wiggle room to resettle an old score. I'm not sure this is going to work the way they think. One year, we pulled out of Afghanistan. Someone suggested that we should go back there and retake what is our given right. I don't think they saw it that way, but whatever. And to make Afghanistan socialist once more. The premier admitted that this sounds like a plan worth putting into action. How would that work better the second time? So the Russians couldn't do it the first time, and now they're stretched over the entire world, and now somehow they'll be able to take down Afghanistan. I mean, you know, they don't have a Joe Biden, so maybe it'll go better. They're not just going to leave billions of dollars worth of military equipment there because reasons. If you will retake the town of Bakarak, call for reinforcements. We will not fail to subjugate the Afghani people. Oh dear. Oh dear. And yeah, that Terminator anime is apparently supposed to be good. I've not had a chance to watch it yet. Okay, so we've gone from America to Afghanistan. like I said, this is kind of a crack story. Because it just seems kind of strange here. Like, why would you do this? It just doesn't seem like this would be that good of an idea when you're trying to take over an entire continent, and now you're going to invade, you know, a country you lost in the first time. Now, I'm not really sure why the Soviets lost in Afghanistan. I've read a number of things about it, and it sounds like it was mainly due to politics, among other things. So, it's one of those things. Taking over countries, not a good idea. Oh, crap. It'd be nice if I had, you know, ammo or something. Ammo would be nice. Because they don't give you a rifle to start with. I mean, I have this Dragunov, but, you know, 7.62x5.4, not cheap. And machine gun ammo is just not that great either. Yeah, that's true. We won't have a 9/11 in our timeline. Just a giant Soviet invasion, which would be even worse. This is the first level where we find one of the bosses, which is basically a reskinned Hans Grosse from not Warhammer, Wolfenstein. Okay, let's give health. Oh, come on, game. That is not fair. How would I... Really? Really, game? How am I supposed to even shoot him? Yes, aloha snack bar. That's one piece of... That was one really big disappointing thing about Medal of Honor, the Modern Warfare version. It'd be nice if we could have had like a Medal of Honor game still set in World War II or a different war. Because we went from World War II to this. And also Medal of Honor 2010 was also very much a cutscene simulator. Like, I've got a knife, and I got 5 shots for this. You think someone would have issued me an AK, or I could pick one of these up? But it's one of those games where you can't pick up any ammunition off the ground. Or the fact that mountainous terrain made guerrilla warfare much easier, and the fact that we supplied... Oh yeah, there we go. Evacuating. Afghanistan was far worse, because we left so much material there that, you know, is being used against us now. Whereas Vietnam, the U.S. had already left by the time there was the fall of Saigon, so it was not nearly as bad. I would like to see a Return to Castle Wolfenstein game set in World War I too, because that would be pretty awesome. World War I has definitely been kind of forgotten over the years, and Battlefield 1, while not a terrible game, still was, you know, a modern-day Battlefield game. Battlefield campaigns are usually, Battlefield campaigns are usually terrible, with good multiplayer. It's like Battlefield campaigns are usually you're just doing a bunch of pre-scripted bullshit. Oh, come on! That did 69 points of damage? Come on, game. Balance? Did we have any balancing here? Okay, well, we better save, because all I've got is a pistol and a rifle with no bullets. Hey, it's like real life. Now, the README suggests that you're supposed to shoot from a distance, but I've got nothing to shoot from a distance with. It's just not fair. I mean, if you wanted to have like a machine gun, what you would do is you would set the game in 1918. It's like, the Kaiser is going to build a new gas weapon or something, or it could be like a diesel punk thing, where they got like mechs or something. Or you could be a member of like some kind of special forces thing, and you've got like a Remington Model 8. The only problem with that is like, how would you get more ammo? It's like, if you're going behind enemy lines, you don't exactly get to have, you know, like, ammo resupplies. Halo kind of fudges it by having like dead bodies, but you don't have bullets. Battlefield 1, enough time in actual trenches. And yeah, they did make the they pulled out every single automatic weapon they could possibly find. But hey, at least it gave made a lot of those World War I guns really famous. And I think Battlefield 1 really gave Ian McCollum of the Clan McCollum a real shot in the arm. FPS had Verdun in the name. I don't remember what that is either, but I do know there's a World War I FPS called like Nerve Kill or something. It's kind of like a horror FPS set in World War I. It was not that great, in my opinion. I didn't like it. I did a review on it, but I eventually took it down because it got so much hate. So much hate. People were so pissed off at my review of that when I said I didn't like it. They're like, how dare you not like the game? It's because it's boring. No weapons. We step into, like, California, Afghanistan? Califanistan? Ammo. That could work. Power armor. Powered by kerosene. Man, that'd smoke a lot. Halo, I think, was originally supposed to be an RTS, and then it got changed to an FPS. Which I think was a good idea, because I think a Halo RTS would probably not have gone over nearly as well as the FPS did. Then we would later get a Halo RTS with Halo Wars, which was actually pretty good. Somebody give me an AK already! Yeah, California, indeed. Yeah, Halo, that's a franchise that's gonna die soon. I mean, you thought Halo Infinite was bad. Apparently, for Halo Infinite, there was a release of some kind of skin pack that was like $20 or something. People are pretty pissed off about that. I mean, that's games as a service. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take down like a boss pretty quick, and then then this level just goes on and on and on and on and on. It's like, give me a break, game. Wouldn't be able to shell us that hard. We must find the NATO base and teach them to fight like men. If you're trying to win a war, does it matter what kind of weapons you use? Because you're trying to, you know, not die? I think there's a little vent somewhere around here, hidden behind one of these. No, I guess not. I thought there was. I'm not sure there would be like a NATO base in Afghanistan if there was like an actual invasion of CONUS, because you'd probably want to have all your troops. There's a alternate history writer named Robert Conroy. He basically wrote the same book like 12 times. That's really cool that wall blew out. I love it when modders do that. They basically wrote the same novel like 20 times, but it was good. Oh yeah, we got the snack bars. They do a lot of damage. Let's see. Submarine warfare simulator takes place during the American Civil War. Seeing as how there's like one submarine, it would definitely be a steampunk sort of thing, but that could work. It would work, but it'd have to be steampunk, because there was one submarine called the Hunley, and well, I think it damaged one ship and then sank immediately thereafter. Needless to say, you probably didn't want to be a submariner back in the Civil War. Yes, yes, snack bar. Yeah, fighting through the village, not a good idea. And those buildings are made out of like... Oh crap, you bastard! Goddamn snack bars. I don't think Battletech looks boring. Battletech is more realistic. But yeah, the Japanese mechs are meant to look, you know, more stylized. They wouldn't actually work that well in real life. But, you know, either or. Gundam looks... The Gundams... Oh, crap. The Gundaniums look a little weird, though. Like, they have some really interesting paint jobs. Had no oxygen. Yeah, well, it was a death trap. And it was powered by muscle power, because they didn't have like a steam engine small enough, and it would have killed everybody if they tried to use it. Holy crap! Another fucking snack bar guy. So they literally had like this giant thing they had to turn to get the submarine to move. It would definitely be a different idea for a game. Just make sure it's a little better than the Hunley. And like all they had was like a little window to look out of instead of, you know, like a periscope or anything. So yeah, it's like no wonder it sank. Like the first of anything is usually gonna be terrible. Like the first tanks literally had the engine in the crew compartment. Like they made those guys tough. Okay, I am so hurt. I am so offended by being shot. Yeah, the gunplas. Damn it, I don't have the AK. Okay, you know what? Give weapons. I won't use any weapon that I couldn't have in this level, so I won't use like... Well, here's all the weapons. It's basically your modern 1990, you know, stuff. It's everything you'd expect. And we got the AK-74 with the poison bullet. That was from the Russian invasion of Afghanistan, where people would get shot, they couldn't find the bullet, and they'd, well, die. Like, that 5.45, that ain't playing around. Before 5.45 wasn't really available, people would say that was better than 5.56. Yeah, I'm dubious about that. Not having had an AK-74, I couldn't really tell you, but I thought that plant was a snack bar, but it is not. Okay, so we gotta fight our first reskin of Hans Grosse. Yeah, there he is. They grow him big. I didn't know they had God damn it. I didn't know they had steroids in Afghanistan. I assume they do, but, oh dear. Did I already grab the blue key? Okay, good. Okay, let's save. This guy's not that hard. Why do I get the feeling that, this guy was made with US aid? Well, a lot of those, battle mechs in, Battletech are a lot bigger than an ATST. And heavier. I read a couple of those Battletech books, and they're alright. They're alright. The universe is just kind of mad to me, because it's like, there's no good guy, there's nothing to really root for or get behind. Different great houses and such. Blast him! 40K, I think, is able to be as popular as it is just because there are factions you can root for. Like, you can root for Kaifas Kane because he's going to be doing something suitably heroic. Dynamist accessories for their 0-0. Never actually bought any Gunpla. I haven't bought a Gunpla thing. Actually, no, I have. I think I got a Gunpla like when I was a kid. I always called him Super Robocop though, but I bet that is a Gundam thing. I still have it somewhere. But I never actually just bought, as an adult, an actual Gunpla thing, because I never really cared that much about it. Although I would like to get Death Scythe Hell at some point, just because, like, it's a battle mech with an actual plasma scythe, which is awesome. Not the poison bullet just meant you marinated them. I thought that was a myth, where they, like, had the bullets in, like, fecal matter. Because I would think that, like, the actual, you know, crap would burn off when you shot the round. I just thought that, like, the reason I called it the poison bullet, because it would, you know, when it hit soft tissue, it would do very, very bad things, because it's a very, very small bullet. Now, there's one, I don't know if it actually happened, but there was some kind of Indian rebellion against the British, because the ammo they were issued used pork products to like seal the round. It was black powder ammo to like seal the round against like water, but I'm not sure how true that is. But I remember reading that years and years ago. So the historicity could be different. Zoids. Never heard of Zoids before. I don't really collect much stuff these days. It's like when you finally reach like max stuff, max hoss, to the point where you don't really have much room for it. And I don't like clutter. Okay, now where is that door? Gundam is way darker than the designs of the mechs would lead you to believe. Like, if you were to watch, like, if you look at, like, the Gundam for, like, the first ever, well, Gundam, like, you think, oh, it's just one of those kind of shows, right? It's like, no, it's not. There's a lot of character death. A lot of character death. The book was kind of boring, though, when it was translated to English. It just was like a grand total of meh. Give me all that bacon and eggs. I don't know if they'd be allowed to eat bacon in this country, but whatever. Okay, where is that switch? We need to get that thing open. There's a million doors. A million bloody doors. Now, since this takes place in 1990, Yugoslavia still exists, and so they're going to be our enemies in the European campaign. Even begins, the war between the Federation and Xi'an has already wiped out half the human race. That's one of those things where, like, you read that and it's like, oh, that's bad, because it is kind of hard for the human mind to wrap to really process those numbers, you know. How I do it to kind of process that kind of mass death is like, I think to myself, like, you know, each one of those is an individual person, and now they're just fucking dead. And, like, a lot of people is a lot of people. It's really hard to visualize that. Whenever I try to wrap my mind around that, like, whenever I'm reading a book, we're like, oh yeah, they dropped a bomb and it blew all those people up. I think about, like, comic conventions. You know, like, when you're at a comic convention, that's a shitload of people, but it's like maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people at any one time. So imagine that times, like, 100. It's like, yeesh. That's why I like it when franchises, you know, kind of shy away from, like, you know, that's a giant rat. Shy away from using giant numbers like that, because then it kind of makes it a little less fun. Just a little less fun. Apparently, there's some evidence that Razor Fist is a well. Yeah, I was thinking about that just today. Like, why is it when people get rich or become successful, they all become assholes? Were they assholes to begin with, or were they assholes to begin with, or does being rich turn them into assholes? It's kind of like the YouTube game. Thankfully, I'm small, so I can still be a human being, but a lot of YouTubers, they kind of become part of this YouTube ecosystem where they won't, like, interact with smaller YouTubers or really admit to liking them because they gotta, like, stick with their own, you know, like, successful people. Because I've heard some YouTubers that are somewhat small talk about how, like, oh yeah, I heard this big YouTuber really likes our content, but they can't admit it. It's like, it just seems like, why would you not admit to liking a small channel? I guess that's part of, like, the etiquette or something, but if ever I got, like, 1 million subs, I would still communicate with human beings. Iron Lung. I never heard of Iron Lung. Only 750 people exist? Yeesh. Scale and stakes to be massive but without build-up and characterization. Yep. That's why I have a problem with, like, superhero stuff. You know, it's kind of like Joker should really only be a one-off villain if he's really that bad. Because, like, if he's committing, like, massacres, like that guy we just shot here, why would Batman not, you know, snap his neck? That whole no-kill rule is so stupid. It's like, the X-Men killed people all the time. Like, fucking Colossus, when Professor Xavier's evil son was, like, killing people, Colossus snapped his neck. Yeah, he felt bad about it, but he did it. He got with 15. What? Ugh. 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 I mean, for me, if ever we got a bloody Uzi. I thought it was a MAC-10 for a second. I want an Uzi. Man, if I got rich, all I would do is, like, save most of the money. That way, if anything ever happened, I wouldn't, like, be broke. And I might splurge on, like, maybe an Uzi. A real one. A real Uzi. Although it'd probably just be an Uzi Model B that's semi-auto. I don't want to have to deal with the AFT. I mean, like, being able to do mini pews is great, but I don't want to have to fill out all that paperwork, you know, have to deal with all that crap. But an Uzi Model B still can run you like $3,000, which is bullshit for what it is. Donuts. Don't want to lose that sweet, sweet YouTube money. Oh, that's terrible. You know, it's like, it's not a fixed fraction of the... That's one of those fixed pi fallacies or something. You know? It's garbage. I would never be so worried about popularity that I would, you know, see people as resources and things of that nature. But I guess fame does change people. And that's why I'm just going to be nice and small. Yeah, but see, that the new ATF director, no, it's Kash Patel, not Pash Patel. Yeah, he'll be gone before too long, unfortunately, and, well, then it'll be business as usual. Oh, man, I was going to mention that, too. It's like, people go nuts at any time, but, like, the NPCs got their new programming recently, so now they hate, Elon Musk again. No, you bastard! They hate Elon Musk again, you know? You know, the guy who does like 90% of the space launches. They're hating on him. They're like destroying the Tesla cars, and it's like, that's... Politics has like infected everything, like even the car you drive. So now every time I see like a Cybertruck or a Cybercar, I'm like, you go, dude. You go. Because they had to do it. They had to go nuts about it. So that means maybe get an Equibus 770 and a Ford Raptor. Kash Patel is the head of the FBI and now the head of the ATF as well. I don't know. I've seen some videos where they mention where some females don't like the big ones. But no, it's nice and small in some ways, nice and big in others. Same umbrella. Yeah, that's weird. Well, I mean, but the thing about, like, that's a real reason to dislike Elon, but a lot of these people don't know anything about him other than, you know, he talks to or associates with Cheeto Man, and so that's why they don't like him. But apparently in places like Portland, at least according to Reddit, Portland, they're like spray painting, you know, the Tesla cars, you know, they're like threatening people, saying like, hey, you should sell your car, or otherwise something might happen. That's what I'm talking about. That's the nut stuff there. And yeah, we need to abolish the AFT, because they don't do anything. Yeah, if you spend any time on social media, it's all a big shit show right now, because everybody's, once again, just kind of going nuts about everything. It's like, Cheeto isn't going fast enough. Cheeto's going too fast. It's like, pfft. Liked Elon. Yeah, politics is now to where it's like, you are either with us or you, God damn it. You are either with us, 2 points of health. Screw you, game. Give me more band-aids. I am shooting these guys from a distance. But yeah, it's like, it's all for clicks and all the rest. Man, if you go on Twitter, though, Twitter's not entirely useless. Not entirely. Give me health. Because I think I found a fanfic on there once. But man, it's just, it's all about engagement farming. I think some of the best content you can find on YouTube and places like that is usually going to be the small stuff, because they're going to put a lot more effort into it, and nobody's going to see it. I recently read a fanfic that no one's really talking about. That's like this big Star Trek Wolf 359 one. I mentioned it last week, but I finally finished it, and it's really good. Like, it delves into like the politics of like the Federation, and how like there was this giant drawdown of Starfleet, and there was no military spending because the current president in Star Trek at that time didn't want to have like it was peace by any means, and so when the Borg showed up, they had nothing but shit tier ships and commanders that couldn't think tactically. It was good stuff. There's a little bit of wokiness in it, but not too bad. not too bad. They had to get a dig in at Orange Man, but if you ignore that, it's still pretty good. Social media, reading more. Alien Dark, those Dark Horse comics are pretty bloody good. Well, the reason why the Renos don't do that is because, well, they don't want to rock the boat. That's the main thing. That's why there's a lot of the Never Cheetos that hate him, because he'll do the things that they won't do. I'm not sure how successful Cheeto is going to be, but he's done more in like 3 months than most presidents do in their entire career. God damn it. Entire career, so it's just, we gotta wait and see. Man, that social media, it's like, he still hasn't done this, he still hasn't done that. It's like, it's been 3 months, you idiots! 3 months! That's it! Social media now is just, people are so mad. But, once again, even as cringy as Reddit is, I found some good shit, like a Kaifus Kane fanfic where, he inadvertently sides with Chaos. It's pretty good! Like, they get Kane right. And, Kaifus Kane, War Master of Chaos. Pretty fun little story. Trying to find, like, a book that you pay for is not as easy as it could be, though. It's kind of annoying. But, you know, it's kind of how it goes. Okay, so once we get done with Afghanistan, we're going to be going to... God damn it! New Mexico, where we gotta try to push the Soviets out. Also, don't tread on me. No step on Snick. And yeah, I have 4K 77 actually. That's a huge bloody file. And sometimes even if you do curate your social media stuff, the algorithm still feeds you crap. It's just kind of how it goes. It's not perfect. Perfect! There's a New Mexico, huh? Does it have, same amounts of dysentery? I've been to New Mexico a grand total of once, where a homeless guy wanted some money, and, at the time I had no money, so he was out of luck. That's my only experience with New Mexico, is a random guy came up to me while I was trying to pump gas, and that was that's one of those things, that's a little makes you a little nervous, you know? That's something that does not happen here. Like, homeless people here actually have, you know, standards. They actually leave people alone. Yeah, Warhammer 40K is really good, and Warhammer Fantasy is even better. I've recently reread Vampire Hunter, by, William King. That's another really good book. I think it came out in like 1999 or something. It's old. It is old as fuck. But it's where Gotrek and Felix is a warrior poet, and Gotrek is basically a living engine of destruction with a magic axe. You have to take down a vampire that wants to like control all the vampires in the Warhammer world. It's pretty great. And it really does a good job with the vampirism thing, where one of the characters gets kidnapped. Not Gotrek or Felix, but Felix's girlfriend. She gets kidnapped, right? And, well, basically, it's a little creepy to read as an adult. As a teenager, no, as an early 20-something when I read the book the first time, I didn't really get all the subtext. But, basically, the vampire does what a lot of really abusive, god damn it, people do. And he slowly but surely gets Felix's girlfriend addicted to him, because basically he's a vampire, right? And gets her, god damn it, gets her addicted to drinking blood. It's pretty creepy. Someone asked to smell the, said she can afford smokes but not a soda. Yeah, people are really shitty like that. Okay, let's save, because we're gonna have some snack bars. Okay, you snack bar bastards. Crap, 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 crap. You bastard! Okay, good. We got to get them to blow each other up. We got them to blow each other. Wait, no, although, evidently, from some of the things I've read, that apparently does happen in this particular country. Oh, dear. That and those poor goats. Those poor, poor goats. Or through a plastic bottle and filled it with soda. Ugh. Yeah, thankfully, stuff like that doesn't really happen here. Okay, so we got the gold key. This is where the game kind of doesn't tell you what to do. Married in Taco Bell in Las Vegas. If I was gonna get married in Vegas, I would go to like Elvis Presley. One of those Elvis Presley impersonators, and I would do that. In fact, if I ever get married again, which one can only hope, it's just a matter of, you know, meeting somebody cool, I might do that, just because that'd be kind of a neat little thing. When I got married the first time, it was just at the Justice of the Peace. It was a nice private little ceremony. But, you know, if you're going to get married a second time, you might want to jazz it up a little bit with some Elvis. Small but faithful community of AVP. Well, thank you, Dylan Ring. I ain't quitting anytime soon. Oh yeah, I got married like ages ago. I've been divorced for a long time. I got married back around 2012. It only lasted a couple of years. It was a pretty good relationship, but I was a bit too young, a bit too, shall we say, spirited, and so was the girl, and well, eventually, you know, it came to an end. It's just one of those things. Thankfully, it was not one of these horror stories that you read about on the social medias. But, yeah. If I was to find someone cool, again, totally might have to get Elvis to do it. I think we're supposed to open that door. No, we got the gold key, which means we need to go... Who put that bloody minigun there? To guard food? Well, I mean, I guess it is a war. Morbidly obese, too many to be called Aloha Snack Bar. Okay, that'd be pretty hilarious. Yeah, this level's a little annoying. Oh, crap. Yeah, those German Shepherds, they ain't playing around. Yeah, but don't worry about it, Dylan. That was like 11 years ago. Oh, but man, that was rough, though. That was rough. But it was one of those things that I was able to survive it. And I thankfully never became like a lot of those depressing people you find online. It's like, women are evil, man. It was a learning experience. It taught me to truly be strong. What would a politician have to do to earn my loyalty? Now, that's a good question. I don't know if a politician ever could. Because politicians are just human beings. They're not special. You know, they were able to say enough stuff and do enough stuff to get popular enough. Honestly, Cheeto has done more than any other just because, you know, he didn't even have to be he wasn't even a politician to begin with, you know? I have a lot of respect for, like, older politicians like, say, Theodore Roosevelt, who actually did try to, god damn it, improve the country. Really, when it comes to, like, being loyal to any politician, you gotta remember that they're running a country and, I think that's from that movie with that you can't handle the truth scene. I can't remember what the name of that movie is. A Few Good Men. I think this is like lines from that movie. I think this is like Jack Nicholson or something. Yeah, that's got to be Jack Nicholson. No, I do not keep in contact with any of my various exes. You know, it's one of those things. When a relationship ends, for me, it's like, you know, what's done is done. It's over with. I'm not Jerry Seinfeld. Yeah, Ron Paul is pretty good. Take that, Joker. Wait, no. Yeah, Theodore Roosevelt understood like normal people better than most. It's George H.W. Bush. Read my lips, no new taxes. Well, by no new taxes, I mean a lot of taxes. Yeah, for me, it's just like, what's done is done. It came and went, and that was that. Now, thankfully, I've never been with anybody who was like, you know, a stalker Get out of here, stalker. Someone tries to contact me, so that's good. No, STAKL. You know what I mean? God damn it. Fuck it. Yeah, George Lucas should not have sold out to Disney. Because even at his worst, Lucas still did better. I mean, think about this. Episode 1 was the shittiest Star Wars movie ever. And that is more watchable than Last Jedi or Force Awakens. STAKLER. Oh man, that game is rough. That is a hard game to finish. Even with all the bloody mods that fix it. And now I don't want to review that because that means I'd have to play it, and that would take me a lot of time. I got it before it was cool. And man, like, quick saving galore. So what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to somehow find all the remaining troops, which it'd be nice if the game gave us a little compass. It's like, oh yeah, they're over there, so you don't just find yourself running in circles. This isn't the worst game I've played when it comes to that, but it's still kind of annoying. Need someone to collaborate with. Oh, yes, indeed. Okay, so I don't know where all the surviving troops are, so what we're going to do is we're going to move on to Allied Act 1. Oh. Yeah. Let's see, episode 1 gets points for being the last Star Wars movie recorded on 35mm. Yes. Greetings, sir. Despite our overwhelming losses, we shall stand up to the Soviet invasion of the free world. The U.S. Army will push back the invasion. Come on, give me a chance to read it. Large swaths of the United States are currently occupied by the invaders. How? Bases are being erected in former U.S. military bases, which makes no sense, but whatever. Radio stations relay information to the USSR. We will not stand for this. It is time to retake our land city by city. As part of this operation, you will be para-dropped into New Mexico to relieve one of the towns from Soviet presence. A hand that is raised in America must be chopped off, no matter how long it takes. This has got to be Slav. This has got to be some kind of Slav jank, because it just reads kind of like that. Lieutenant Ava. Oh my! I'm thinking, isn't like one of those sexy females from one of those games named Ava? I seem to recall some sexy cosplay of that character. Let's see. Good day, Triple X Medic. I was wondering about episode 2 when Anakin kills the Tusken Raiders and telepath. Yeah, that is something that is kind of silly, because in episode 2, Anakin, like, tells Padme, oh yeah, I mass murdered an entire tribe of people, and Padme's like, eh. It's like, but at the same time, that's not an inaccurate sort of thing. There are females and males who get together with obviously crazy people. And, yeah, so I could see Padme doing that. I mean, Padme would probably be kind of lonely. She's known Anakin for a long time. She might be like, I can fix him. Here's a word of the wise. You can't fix somebody unless they see themselves as having a problem. So, it's one of those things of, don't waste your time on that. Unless, of course, somebody actually has a desire to change, but that's a very rare sort of thing. Because usually if someone has a desire to change, they already tried to do it and either failed or gave up or something like that. But yeah, Padme would do that if she was like, I could change him. And then she gets choked out. And that's usually how that works out in real life. Oh dear. Oh dears. Reason why Lucas sold Disney is because Warner Brothers, they apparently did not want to make anything expensive when he was supposed to meet the head that day. Wow. Sim for a monster, choke me harder. Yeah, I've seen that video. Massive nuisance to the galaxy. I don't think Padme would be grateful for that, though. She's supposed to be really, peacenicky. I haven't watched the trilogy. I was wondering if WB ran the franchise. If WB ran Star Wars, that would be kind of interesting. It would be a lot darker. I think if WB ran the Star Wars franchise, you'd probably have something much more in line with the EU, because the EU was pretty dark and adult. So like the DC expanded universe, you know, it'd probably be something like that. And I don't think that'd be a bad thing. I think you'd probably... I could see WB doing a Thrawn trilogy more than I'd ever see Disney doing that. Because WB can make some decent movies. I mean, the Snyderverse wasn't that terrible. It just didn't really get Batman and Superman right. They made them way too dark for who they're supposed to be. Predator could be in Star Wars. I've seen some fanfics like that, but there's no way a Yatja could take down a Jedi, though. I mean, like, maybe an untrained Jedi or like a Padawan or something, but like a master. Luke would just eat him for breakfast. Oh, crap. Okay, let's save. But yeah, Padme would not like Anakin killing all those guys, but once again, Padme would have been blinded by love. And then would be, well... Sadly, a lot of females have the same fate as poor Padme. Because you gotta realize, Padme would have had very limited relationship exposure. So she would think that she could fix him because, you know, she'd be like, well, I know Anakin. Like, he's not a bad guy, you know? I mean, his mother died. I mean, we all make mistakes. That sounds silly, but I could easily see a person like Padme saying that. You know, maybe not in the exact same words, but she'd be like... She'd be finding every excuse in the book to justify what Anakin did. Or she might even not believe that he did it. He might be like, well, they attacked him and he fought back and, you know, that these things happen. I could see that, you know. And it'd probably only at the end that Padme would be like, oh, crap, that was not a good idea. Does kind of go to show that Luke is a pretty good guy, though, because he has all those crazy genes in his genetic makeup, and he didn't turn evil. There's hit with a tornado. Yuck. The tornado touched down on the power station. You could do a oh man, that would be hilarious, but I don't know if that'd really fit in the universe. Especially in the original EU where things were a little more serious. There's actually a local arcade that has a lot of these machines. Donkey Kong's pretty good. Q*bert is really annoying to try to play. It's set on this weird 90-degree angle. And then Tron, the original Star Wars arcade, pretty bloody good. I played that a couple weeks ago at my local arcade. It's remarkably good, especially for the year it came out in. Let's see what else we got here. Joust, meh. Galaga, pretty alright. Pac-Man, meh. Frogger, eh. Burger Time, eh. That's pretty much it. Food Fight, never played that in real life. Popeye, also never played. Popeye, that's a franchise that's definitely fallen out of popularity. Nobody really cares about Popeye the Sailor Man anymore. Yeah. I mean, pretty much the only thing Popeye related we ever actually see is, like, Popeye's chicken. Let's see... Hot goth girl. Yeah, you can't... Yeah. I don't think I want to date that thing. Distinct from Jurassic Park with some of the worst acting. Ooh, what's the name of it? Because I want to see that. One thing I've noticed about, like, some of the more commercial arcades is Raw Thrills is a company that manufactures just the samey light gun games over and over again. I actually have played the Star Trek Voyager arcade game once in real life, and then I emulated it a long time ago, but I lost the ROM pack and the emulator in a hard drive crash. This is why it's good to have multiple externals with backups of backups of backups. A backup generator. It's like Burt Gummer, but with computers. Let's see. The Clone Wars 2D is really good. The Clone Wars 3D, not so good. I never liked Ahsoka. Wrath of Khan is a classic. Yeah, Splatterhouse is a pretty good arcade game, but I never actually got into the Splatterhouse series. I actually played Halo Fireteam a couple weeks ago. I went to this place called Main Event. It was one of my Friday night excursions. Oh dear. Jitter Lotz has a personal life, whatever next. I went to this main event place. It wasn't bad. It wasn't as good as this little local arcade that I went to, but Halo Fireteam, pretty good. I liked it well enough. I'm surprised such a thing exists. It follows the book, Halo the Flood, really closely. And it's just a basic arcade game, but it's fun. Got some pretty good graphics. See you, Agnostic. Well, I'm sure the voice actors for that show are pretty nice, but the show itself, it ruined canon, and also I think they got Karen Travis to not finish her Republic Commando series. I got a Republic Commando book review coming out at the end of this month, where I dress up as a clone trooper. Believe me, that gets hot fast. Because clone armor does not breathe. Alright, let's grab some superhero steroids. Yeah, it's kind of sad that some of the voice actors I've met over the years have gone completely nuts. Like the dude who played Tuvok, Tim Russ. He is not a fan of Orange Man and like wanted to drink Drano or something to get attention. And Robert Picardo had a really annoying screed. I liked Robert Picardo. He was nice. I even convinced him to go see Pacific Rim. It's like my favorite thing from any con I've ever gone to. And then he went nuts. It's just not fair. Some people will wear like ice packs. I'm like, where do they put them? That'd make it even more uncomfortable. They have like fans in the helmet. I can barely squish my head into these helmets. I got a big head. Oh my. Is they held Anakin up as a hero while 2D showed Anakin was more flawed? Yep. People really simp for Anakin these days. It's like, George really shouldn't have had him kill off all those Tuskens, though. Because, like, anybody with any degree of sanity is like, well, he's a nut. He's a mass murderer. Now, mass murdering aside, I just want to point out, look at how impressive this level is. Look how big it is. And look at the frame rate. We're getting a damn good frame rate here. No drops whatsoever. We got these giant buildings. We got bridges. We've got semi-trailers. It's beautiful. Yeah, there were some decent episodes in the first season of Voyager. Not many, but it wasn't as terrible as people make it out to be. For a while there, people really hated Voyager because SF Debris, I don't know if he was a YouTuber back then. He might have been on Blip, but SF Debris did a bunch of takedowns of Star Trek Voyager. I didn't really agree with all of his takes, but it was one of those things where in the early internet, if you put out a video and it got popular, people would start to like adopt that opinion. It's kind of like what happened with the Nostalgia Critic. Tusken Raiders are like kind of human, but not. I think they're like a human offshoot or something. They kind of leaned in hard with the whole Tusken Raider thing. I'm going to keep giving myself health because this game ain't easy. See how long I've been going? Hour 30. Okay, we got plenty of time. We got plenty of time. Oh, a classic 90s mall. Although I don't ever remember seeing an advanced auto parts store in a mall or a Dollar General. And my mall that I've gone to, that still exists. It still has stores in it. I actually bought a suit from the local mall. Got it on sale. But yeah, I got me a suit from the mall. But like, my mall had a KB Toys. Got plenty of cool shit from there as a kid, including the lunar lander that survived childhood, although it's missing one of the legs. Darth Krayt was technically, Darth Krayt was raised by the Tusken Raiders, but he's biologically human. Nice lore development. Yep, that you do. Yeah, I do think we need some brick and mortar stores. Because, like, buying clothes online is not really the best. Because you need to be able to try stuff on. And sometimes you can get a better deal in a store. Yep. Just say no to drugs. And no one did. And now the drugs are legal. Provided you get them from a pharmacist. Now you would find Sears in a mall. That makes me feel really old. It wasn't that long ago that I went to a Sears and got a giant tool kit thing, which I used just like a. Now this is my kind of mall where they got a gun store. Very seldom will you find gun stores in a mall, though. I've seen one gun store in one mall, and I think that was in Corpus Christi. They had a decent selection. And it was just kind of weird that there was even a gun store in a mall. I'm sure it's long since shut down now, though. Which is sad. Ghost Rider Omnibus. I never actually read any Ghost Rider. I mean, I'm aware of the character, but just never really sat down to read it. I watched the movie with Nicolas Cage. Will reveal the Star Wars new tactical turn-based Star Wars game. Huh. I don't know if I'm not really into turn-based tactical stuff. Serious Sam, no. At least they haven't put like guns on the space dogs yet. I'm not sure what kind of dog that's supposed to be. Now, when we actually fight in URIP, we end up having to fight Dalmatians. And yeah, Doctor Who did get hit with the woke hammer pretty bad. But I never was a Doctor Who fan. Sears next to the mall. We had to go there before we went to the mall section. I didn't know there was any Searses still open. Buy leather jackets and trench coats. If you want a good leather jacket or trench coat, there's always garage sales or used clothing stores. There's always that option. Yeah, this mod is really good, but some of these levels, man, they go on way too long. But it's still definitely one that I do recommend playing. Okay, do we have the key? Oh yeah, I never found the yellow key card. When I first played it, I could not find it at all. So we're just going to give ourselves all the keys. I actually live in Texas. I don't feel bad about saying I live in Texas. It's not really doxing myself because Texas is a giant state. And if I say that I'm in Houston, it's like that doesn't really mean much because Houston is a very big city. We're currently analyzing the data, sir. Hang on, it might take some time. Can you imagine trying to do, like, online stuff in 1990? Secret Soviet base somewhere near the mall. It's like, I'm not surprised one of those Ospreys crashed. And yes, everything is big in Texas. In more ways than one. I'm actually not in the area that's going to get hit by those storms. I mean, I think we're going to get some wind, but that's going to be it. Just hope it doesn't knock the power out. Ugh. Tight spade in Texas. Texas is a pretty big state, that is for sure. Like, if you want to go to, like, the next city, it's like a few hour drive. Like, the joke is in Texas, we don't say how far it is, we say how many hours it's going to take to get there. Oh, Georgia, I think that's in the path of that, though. Yeah, just be careful out there. Yeah, the weather's been really weird lately. It's the climate change, man. We need to switch to EV. Oh, wait. We can't do that because Elon Musk bad. Also, buy one, get one free Whopper. Whoppers are not that bad. I mean, for a fast food burger. I mean, for me, Burger King ain't bad. I remember I actually had somebody say to me once that I looked like I was somebody who barely did the minimum amount of exercise. And this was a person who literally ate McDonald's every day. I'm not friends with that person anymore. See, that's an example of toxic behavior, where people gotta tear down what you do, even though they don't do it themselves. We gotta defend the Burger Town, man! There's been a volcanic eruption that's seen from space. Make the winter warmer for the next 5 years. It didn't feel that warm this year. We got snow! In Texas! Fucking snow, man! Which was kind of neat, but holy crap, it was cold. Oh crap, there's like every Russian in the country here. Oh yeah, yeah, because it's St. Paddy's Day. I keep forgetting about that because I'm not Irish. I'm always reminded of the Simpsons episode where like Bart gets drunk. It's like, what are you looking at? Go to Moe's, get a couple beers. There's actually a really dark joke in that St. Patrick's Day episode where, oh crap. Where like, there's a reference to all the bombings that happened in the UK because of the Irish. Like, Simpsons used to go hard. Okay, we're gonna give us some health. No, I don't want keys. What health? Screw you, Captain Keys. Oh yeah, I am prepped for the cold these days. I actually bought a propane heater. Because I got screwed that one year. Where we got this massive freeze. It powers out for a couple days, and we had no means of like actually heating up the house. Propane and propane accessories. I don't actually drink alcohol, but I mainly just drink water. I kind of cut out all sugary drinks from my diet recently. So but whenever I do drink a sugary drink, it'll be like some kind of tea, Dr. Pepper, stuff like that. Wondering, once I get a collar, see if I buy a Daniel Defense. I mean, you can buy a Daniel Defense, but my recommendation, if you want a fancy AR, get a LaRue Tactical. They're a lot cheaper, and they're of the similar quality. Our army pushes back against the Soviets. Oh yeah, now we gotta go to Japan, which is weird. Okay, we gotta fight in America, now we're gonna go to Japan. It's kind of like going from America to Afghanistan. I think this game is supposed to be set in the, I can't remember the show now. Blade Runner universe, because I think Mishima Corporation is from that series. Never got into Blade Runner. Found the first movie kind of boring. Alright, see you, Dylan Ring. Get some sleep. Japan is currently occupied by the Chinese, Soviets, and the North Koreans. Holy crap. That's a small island. Small island, big army. Oh dear. Quite indeed, right? That's some Shadow Warrior. That was so lucky that I got that bloody AK. It usually takes a lot longer to get it. Alright, I don't know if we're going to be able to do URIP. Actually, let's go ahead and do URIP. Europa. We can get one URIP level. Greetings, sir. We must talk. In 1948, Yugoslavia adopted a policy of neutrality and tried to distance itself from the rest of the Reds. Unlike the rest, they haven't even invaded anyone yet. We have, however, recently received an alarming anonymous tip. Seems like they're doing the CNN thing. How do you remove white decals from guns? Usually they don't have decals on them. But I guess you would just use, like, you know, a knife and some label remover. The Informator said that they have already begun to stockpile weapons, including nuclear weapons and secret magazines. You and Lieutenant Dresden, Harry Dresden, shall be paradropped over Yugoslavia and then destroy their 4 weapon magazines. We must stop the Yugoslavians. Not the Yugoslavians, not them. Alright, so we got our MP5. And now, you know what? Those M70 AKs, man. That's why they're so dangerous. I actually really wanted an M70 AK, but by the time I had the money, by the time I finally had the money to get one, they were not being imported into America anymore. And by the time they were imported again, I'd already bought an AK. So it's like, damn you, Yugoslavia. I don't know if that's the developer or if that's like somebody important to like Yugoslavia. I don't know. I do not know anything about that particular country other than it existed at one point. There was a giant war, you know, there was some genocides and things of that nature. And then it's a bunch of little countries now. And for whatever reason, I've known a shit ton of Croatians in my life. I even dated a 1/4 Croatian girl at one point as well. And, she was hot, nice enough, but it just didn't work out, unfortunately. I say nice enough. It's one of those things where way too many political arguments. So, yeah. So I always recommend, if you're going to date somebody, try to date somebody who has some similar politics to you. Although, I find it funny. Sometimes you can actually get into more arguments with people that you mostly agree with, but you agree for different reasons. It's weird. Halo mods. Yeah, I do play Halo mods, just not as much, because I haven't set up Halo Custom Edition in a while. Some Springfield guns are made in Croatia. The Hellion and the XD pistol are manufactured there and then imported into the US, but not all of them. I honestly don't know what they're thinking, stockpiling all those weapons. We don't want to fight for the Soviets. Yeah, I think whoever made this game probably came from one of these countries, because when you play the European campaign, it seems like that guy must have come from somewhere around here. But yeah, I play some Halo mods now and again. I've not modded the MCC, though. I need to, but I just haven't gotten around to it. It's like, there's so many games! So many games. I'm just one man with a full-time job. I'm about to get a job that's probably even harder than the one I have now. So, yeah, I gotta maximize my time. I've seen some Halo mods that look pretty impressive, like the New Covenant and stuff like that. I've kind of kept abreast of that. I've played Halo Lemonia. It's pretty good, but really fucking hard. Like, really hard. Like, holy crap. Alright, I think after we beat this level, we'll call it a day. This is a pretty impressive level, because it actually has a train explosion. Which, considering this is the old Doom engine, is pretty neat. To think we went from, you know, Doom to something like this. There's a lot of Duke Nukem armors, though. There's a lot of Duke Nukem textures in this game. Now, I wonder, though, like, if you'd never played Duke Nukem, would you actually know that something was off? Like, you might be like, oh man, those textures are amazing. I mean, this is cool. Like, the fact that this is kind of a 3D model of a tank. I mean, something like this back in 1993 would have been, you know, fever dream of a madman. You can play it co-op. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I was always looking forward to Halo modding, and it took so long for it to finally be a thing. I remember back around 2006, I kind of wanted to make some Halo mods myself, but I could never really figure out how to do anything, and then that's back when, like, you couldn't do anything with, like, enemy AI unless you wanted to program it yourself, and, you know, my skills aren't that bad, but I did not want to do that because I was too lazy. So, like, I did not want to... Damn it. Need health. Like, programming your own AI kind of takes some of the fun out of it. If I actually had the time and a team, I'd love to have done a Halo mod where you could play through the events of Halo First Strike, which is a really kick-ass book that takes place just before Halo 2. Give me that sweet yellow key card. This is one of those levels that if you don't know what to do, you can run around like an idiot. Because a door is going to open in a place that you don't expect it to open. And the game doesn't tell you this. And so you think you need to go one place, but you don't. The game needs to give you a little more warning where these things are going to be. Stop shooting at me, I'm trying to look at your calendar. Look how they all got that bloody gas mask on. They must be melting. It's like, oh yeah, we got Redhead Elvira. Unfortunately, I think the chick who played Elvira also went kind of woke. Or at least did it on social media. So what we gotta do is we gotta set a bomb. Set up a bomb, and I don't know where to set it. In classic, yeah, Bungie era Halo is the best. 343, there's a video I'm going to make on that particular subject, because 343 had some cool ideas, but absolutely no. I don't know. I've never actually dated a natural redhead before. What's kind of funny is there was a female I dated at one point who said that like all redheads are insane. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't know. Here's hoping the mighty general can find a nice redhead at some point. They say that genders don't have any souls, huh? Gingers don't have any souls. Well, we'll have to see if that's actually true. I don't know where people come up with crap like that, though. Now, we need to put something on a... 343 needed to be consistent with their ideas. Like, every game, they came up with something new. It's like, okay, we've got this guy, his name's Didac. Oh, we killed him in the game, at the end of the game. Oh, well, what if Cortana's the villain? We're just gonna have her be dead at the beginning of the next game. The Banished! Where can I introduce that in Halo Wars? She's not insane, although she can be aggravating. Well, you know what? That's good. That doesn't make me feel so nervous now. Ugh. It's like the original Halos, they didn't even really have a single concrete idea of what they even wanted to do, and they kind of just ran with it. But the thing is, even before they became popular, Bungie at least had a universe set up so they could kind of expand if Halo got popular enough to warrant it. Whereas 343, they already had that popularity, but they didn't do anything with it. If they were smart, they would have set up the Banished in their first game, in Halo 4. You know, and then by the end of the game, you take down Atriox on Zeta Halo. Like, that's such an easy thing to do, but I bet they didn't even know Atriox was even going to be a thing in Halo 4. That's a perfect example of we're going to throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. You know, and that's why it was such a scattershot thing. Okay, we're going to have to come back here because I still can't find where to deploy that bomb, even though I played this just earlier today. Ugh. We might just no clip till we find it. That's the annoying one, but coming over here, we find it in like 2 seconds. At least when we blow up the train, that's easy enough, because you just gotta put it on the little spar. See, like, I like some of these more cracked ideas, some of these weird things. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter has got to be the weirdest idea for a movie I've ever seen. But the movie itself is actually pretty good. Like, you got Honest Abe, like, killing vampires with a silver-plated axe. It's one of the funnest movies I've seen in It was one of the funnest movies I've seen in the modern era. That's one of the things. Back in the 80s, like, people used to come up with, like, weird ideas all the time. Like this stuff. What's the best, cheap, but reliable arrow that's not PSA? Let's see. Something that's not PSA. You don't necessarily have to pay out the ass to get something that could last a lifetime. Really, what you're paying for expensive guns, is barrel life. But... you know, realistically, how many people are going to shoot out their barrels? Not many. But like I said, if you want like a good quality AR, just get a LaRue or something like that. Let's see. Do you play any game mods about Stargate? I have not played anything Stargate related, just because there really isn't anything. I think there was something for like the iPhone or the iPad or something. And yeah, I've seen that build for the first-person shooter Stargate game. But I've never found any files for it. But I'd love to play that. For those who don't know, there was a Stargate SG-1 game for the Xbox. And some footage has been leaked, and it looks like it would have actually been pretty good, but it got canned. I don't think it's... like, the actual build has been leaked, though. PSA does not have bad QA as far as I know. I got a couple of their guns, and they work right out of the box. Their AK is great. You know, their AR... is pretty good. I never had any problem with their AR. I think people who say that are just salty. You know, it's like they spent like $2,000 on an AR-15 and They could have gotten just as good with, you know, something that cost a fraction of the price. It's the same thing. It's kind of like people complaining about the M1 carbine, saying like, oh, it jams all the time, man. And hello, John Doe. Yeah, realism is kind of overrated to a certain extent. I like weird shit like Transformers. The original Transformers. Optimus motherfucking Prime playing basketball. Ooh. Alliance did leak. I may have to... I'm gonna find that after the stream. Because if it actually can be played, like, at all, I would totally stream that, because I love Stargate SG-1. But yeah, weird stuff like Optimus Prime playing basketball. I want more of that, you know? Not everything has to be so serious all the time. That's the thing, we don't need to see Megatron, like, squishing a Huey. Because it's much more fun to have Megatron do his wahaha thing and almost kill humans. Because then it's more fun that way. If you got a PSA Saber, you wouldn't need to replace any parts. There's nothing in that that's going to not be functional. Unless you're doing competition, you don't need to spend that much money on an AR. Yeah, like Halo with the MA5B. I picked up a foam MA5B. It's pretty awesome. Alright, I will be taking a look at that after the stream, because, man, I've wanted to play that game for years. I don't know why Stargate didn't get, you know, more games. Like, why didn't they get more of anything? Because it was a popular series. They got 10 seasons. 10 bloody seasons. They could have had something. Like, for Stargate, other than the iOS game, which I think was only on the iPad, and I'm sure it's long since been delisted, there's that Stargate... there's a Stargate game on the Super Nintendo for the original Stargate movie. And as far as I know, it's not very good. Okay, I can't find where to deploy that last bomb, so we're gonna do no-clip jamboree here, so I can get it so we can beat the level. There we go. Stargate Half-Life mod. Oh, that's where it is! I did it again. How would I compare a Saber to a LaRue? They'd be about equivalent. Stargate Half-Life mod. Huh. Evil rats! Man, Croatian rats are tough. Give me that sweet, sweet RPG. Yep, 3 TV movies, of which, sadly, the last piece of Stargate media wasn't very good. Star Cry. Okay, I'll take a look at that. I haven't thought about Far Cry modding in years. Okay. Some bad news. We must go and destroy a train. Let's see, where was that? Yeah, Stargate, that's an example of how you make a franchise, though. You've got cool characters like Colonel O'Neill, you've got Tilk. The guy who played Tilk would later go on to voice Kratos. And I've watched some cutscenes with Mike Judge, that's who played Tilk. Tilk's like the cool alien guy who like betrays like the villain and joins the good guys, you know. But the guy Mike Judge did a very good job playing Kratos. God damn it. Damn you, Croatia. And then you've got other characters like Daniel Jackson, who is played by Michael Shanks. He was like the smart guy. And then finally you had Amanda Tapping, a really hot-ass blonde, who played Samantha Carter, who actually would rise in the ranks throughout the show. She starts out as a captain and becomes a colonel. And she's an example of how you do a proper female character, where like she's tough, but not like, you know, like a Rey where she can do anything. She gets her ass beat on occasion, you know, that sort of thing. Has to get rescued once or twice. They were kind of bad about her at first, though. Double barrel shotgun. This is totally a Doom 64 texture. She kind of gets captured by some Mongolians that try to take down the shitty wall. And like, she's got to be rescued. It's kind of embarrassing. And yeah, Stargate did kind of vanish. Kind of sad, but makes sense. Trigger guard will flip down. You can use it with mittens. Yeah, but that's kind of, unless you're like in some sort of, you know, Arctic environment, you're not gonna really need it. And yeah, the guy who played Colonel O'Neill once played MacGyver. I'm not a big fan of MacGyver because MacGyver. It's kind of an idiot. You know, there's a scene in one of the MacGyver episodes where MacGyver's being like pursued by a bunch of armed mercenaries, right? And he picks up a gun and is like, "You, a gun." It's like, dude, are you an idiot? The answer is yes. So I can't really take that character seriously. It's like, if somebody's trying to kill you, you're gonna shoot back at them. Yep, yeah, I remember Bidet saying that. But that's the thing, you gotta have cool characters with cool... You really, and this is gonna sound a bit sexist, but you kind of do need a leading man, because it is something that the females can kind of swoon for and the dudes want to emulate. You can have a leading female character. It has been done, but it's a lot harder because a lot of these script writers simply don't know how to write women, which is kind of weird. If you've ever actually been around a woman, it's not that hard. They're not that different from guys. They just kind of do things for different reasons. But, you know, you need a Richard Dean Anderson. And that's why Stargate, or Star Trek Strange New Worlds did so well, is because you have Captain Pike. You know, you got Captain Pike, and he's kind of like the cornerstone of the whole show. And I'm not trying to be Mr. Sexass, because you could have La'an Noonien Singh be like a leading character, and she kind of is to a certain extent, but I still think you need to have a guy like the dude who's playing Captain Pike. You kind of got to have that. Kinda. Please deliver this letter to Comrade Minister. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. We don't know why this is happening. We're not allowed allied with the Soviets. Oh, yes, indeed, Silverwings. Yeah, MacGyver is pretty good. Except MacGyver himself is kind of an idiot. If you can ignore the anti-gun messaging, you might like it. Might. Give me that sweet, sweet bomb. The plot of this mod is the Soviets are invading the entire world somehow. Right now, we're playing as like an SAS guy, I guess? And we're trying to like sabotage stuff in the Yugoslavia. Vostek origin? Yeesh. But, yeah, you know, if they did it right, and they did it right back in the 70s, because there were some female-led shows in the 70s that were pretty good. Like, Policewoman, and that one with William Shatner had a really strong female character played by Heather Locklear. So it can be done. It's just today, females just aren't written that well. Especially when we see something like Ray. Ugh. I think you could actually have that woman who got canceled. The chick who played Cara Dune. She could head up a show, I think. She would be strong enough and charismatic enough to do so. Okay, that's really cool. Like, you see the train move and blow up. Remember, this is the GZ Doom engine, and this was free. Yeah, Gina Carano. She could actually helm a show by herself. The thing is, whenever you're trying to get like a leading anything for a show, most of the time it is going to be a leading man because, well, a lot of the actors in Hollywood are generally dudes and they're good at it. Finding a leading woman is much harder. And yeah, this is really impressive for a Doom game. Oh, I wonder if I'm going to get canceled for saying that, like, leading men are good. It's like, how dare you say that? It's like, I just said Gina Carano could be a good leading woman. Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been 2 hours, and it's... Let me get in the frame. I'm escaping the computer. There we go. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that was Red's Overworld. Really, really good. Really recommend playing it. And next week, we're going to play the Star Trek first-person shooter, Star Trek Elite Force 2. Until then, I'm General Lotz, and I'm going to wish you good Modern Warfare 2 and 3, or whatever makes you happy.